When people ask me, you know, people ask about discipline, and I don't really believe in motivation like that. I understand that motivation can kind of light a fire up under your undercarriage. Then you go, but discipline ultimately has to take over. So when people ask me, how'd you get so disciplined? And how'd you get so motivated? What drives you? My son. My son. And I'm not gonna say it was a complete overnight switch, but it kind of was. Like, I'll explain. My son's mom, my wife at the time, came home and said, I'm pregnant. And I remember the first thing I did was, I thought, man, I gotta stop drinking. I looked over at that bottle. This ain't gonna, I can't allow him to come into this world thinking that I think that's okay, right? Because I don't, me personally, my own personal opinion is, a lot of us will go out here and we'll point fingers at this generation and that generation and entitlement, and we act like we don't understand where it came from. Somewhere along the line, an adult of influence gave that youngster the okay, the green light, that this is okay, even though we might say, hey, you don't be doing this. They're watching us do it, right? Because the two don't align. So I said, I'm not going to allow him to see me getting drunk like I used to. And I went through everything possible to stop, man. Like it was a gauntlet. It was, but I wasn't going to not do it. That was the end game. Because honestly, I didn't want, like, how you see those documentaries, man. There'd be some athlete, some rapper, they went, they took off, man. Global icon, but it's always a tough story in that documentary. Like, my dad used to drink and used to come home and nah, his gonna be boring as hell. And if I find out that he lying, then y'all better stop recording this, because that's not how it was. Yeah, my dad used to drink and that's why I started, rapping. No, hey, cut. No, I didn't. No. So I just believe it's easier to just show him, right? I am not expecting my son to be all engulfed into education and degrees like I am. I just need the work ethic part to, be instilled, him to see it. So if he starts a trade, a certificate, whatever he decides to do, I need him to know, man, my dad got up and he did what he needed to do for him. Physically, I am selfish. I am my own selfish. He can have, when he was coming up, he's 12 now, so, into different things, but he can have Captain America, Spider-Man, Superman, all those muscly fictional heroes, but I want to be the real time dude. Because, yeah, I've taken pride in that over the year. I used to go pick him up from, he was in elementary school. I go pick him up. Probably be a hot day. I'm wearing maybe this or a tank top or something. And them kids be like, is that your dad? Does he spank you? You take pride in it. You act like you don't hear it. You're just walking. But I take pride in that. I remember we went to the trampoline joint, the little jump around joint for a birthday party. And he kept running up to me. Hey, can you come jump with us? This other dad's there, man. And they just sitting. Okay. Yeah, I went out there and almost broke my hip, and I haven't allowed him to see anything else, but he doesn't know that he did that. He's the reason that the gradual switch was hit. It was a process, but the mindset, I gotta do this, man. Even when I got out the military, the way I had kind of positioned myself, I could have just worked in a part-time capacity. I could have been one of those people that while you're in, you sporting your leadership and lead from the front. Then as soon as you get out, you're doing something like chill, like part-time. I need him to see me getting up working, right? I need him to see me in action. When I was working at National University, I was putting on my suits. I needed him to see that just in case that had to be something he had to do. So no, I'm my own naive way of thinking. I'm not one of those parents, man. I'm not one of those people that's gonna blame everybody else as to why the world is the way that it is. And behind my phone, my habits are the worst. I'm lying, right? I'm talking to the phone, health is wealth, and this is my year. And then I put that phone down, and I'm sitting there getting drunk. Kids will be watching that, man. put the borders up, right, around the profile photo, the hashtags. We talking about the hot topics. We fighting, virtually fighting with other adults that ain't gonna really change, right? Other countries, other states. When those behind that phone, those are the ones you should be influencing. Get on there, man. Health is wealth. New year, new me. And you put that phone down, and then you got the drink up. You eating the crap. And your kids right there watching you. They just heard you say that, but your actions ain't aligning. I'm not gonna be that. We was in here yesterday working out. We was doing chess. And I told him a couple of times, I said, man, I'm proud of you. Because at 12 years old, I wasn't lifting anything. I wasn't working out. But I said, you just got to have more control because you almost dropped that dumbbell on your face, man. Like, you got to watch it. But it's easy because he's been seeing me do nothing else but that. Like, right, COVID was a tough time, but he used to be sitting over there at that table doing his schoolwork, and I would be working out in my living room, right? He's seen me do the stairs because the way that, you know, our co-parent is every other week. So before my son's mom got out the military, she would drop him off to us in the morning on her weeks. I'm running the stairs, right? It'd be raining, it'd be whatever. And I'll run up to the window and do some silly stuff, and she go and he go in the house. That's all he's seen. This was no surprise to him. You would think a couple of his friends that come over, wow, your dad has a gym. It ain't no surprise to him because he probably expected it just like I did. Once I had the resources, it ain't no surprise. I can't even joke with him on like certain things. For example, like, you know, I remember one time he was eating something and I act like I was gonna like grab it, give me that. And he ain't budge. He was just like, you're not gonna eat this. It's not healthy enough. He ain't had time for that crap. Like, I'll have people reach out and be like, hey man, can you talk to my kid about like this fitness stuff? And I'll say no at first if they're not doing it. I will. I'll be like, you gotta be involved in the process. They gotta see you doing it as well. Because if I'm not around, you gotta be able to say it and they pop too. You can't just pass that responsibility off to somebody else. Or I'll come back and pick them up. I'm gonna go home and shit. No, you gotta be a part of that too. Because what we don't realize is, you know, until that frontal cortex is for men is fully developed with mid to late 20s, they're going to start comparing. Like, hold on, man, what is this? Why is my dad not doing this? Why is my dad not in shape? And then they'll start paying attention to habits. It be all on us. But social media has allowed us to just blame people, and there's no accountability or responsibility needed because it's on here and you can put up a facade. The reason that a lot of this stuff is going on, the entitlement, the procrastination, is because they're picking it up. So my son has seen nothing but, you know, school, working out. I don't drink. You've never seen me even look at any alcohol. We don't even really be arguing. Like, me and my girl, we don't really argue like that anyway, but disagreements, we'll go in the other room. I'm not about to disrespect of women. It's not going to happen. Like, you're not going to pick none of stuff up for me now. Yes, he's going to grow up, you know, go into the world, have some bad influences in his life, but nah, I'm not owning that. So be mindful of these promises you're making on social media, right? Because those your kids, your nieces, nephews, godkids, even just younger adults, they're paying attention to that stuff. So every time you go out here and you proclaim to the world what you about to do, are you really doing it? Every time you eat something, you drink something, you are giving that person that's very impressionable a green light that it's okay to do. Because you ever talk to somebody and they be like, man, my grandmother, she 95 years old, she still smokes. So if my son do that, I want him to be like, man, my dad, he 50, he still be working out though, right? So yeah, it comes from us as somebody that's in a place of influence, as an adult, a provider. It comes from us. That's how you change the world. Y'all know that? Just pay attention to how rapidly things are happening now, right? Like they're picking it up from somewhere, or they're picking it up from the other influences, right? Like at one point in time, going out, getting a job or whatever was a thing. Now you'll see somebody making millions off YouTube. Kids are gravitating to that because when you look at your parents, what they got going on? I ain't trying to, I'm trying to be like that. I'm trying to be like this millionaire that's dancing and screaming, making money doing that. But maybe that's just me. Maybe that's just how I see it. Like I'm a little off. Right? To be on the stairs as long as I do, to put myself through this gauntlet of education for all these years, something has to be wrong up there. But I need my son to see an example. I can't just nah, I gotta show him. That way he'll see that. He'll remember that. I know he be wanting to cuss sometimes, man. Like I'll stick my head in the room. Yo, it's time. Let's go get this workout. He'll be like this. I know he would, motherfucker. I know he be wanting to do it, but what can he do? If I showed him nothing but that. Plus that he at that age now where he be kind of like trying to like test me, and I'll be like, all right, man, you really want you really want to do this? And he'd be like, nah. Now he'll get older. He's gonna try, but right now, man, all the years of working out and that's training. Come try to take my car keys if you want.